Mikey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Sweet.
Hey, and there's video. Here we go.
Yep, Jay was just there a moment ago. I also. Oh,
Let's see. All right. I am still at a family thing, so if I have to dip out, I apologize to everybody.
it happens. There, I muted my. I'm looking at the stream too in case anybody asks questions.
Good.
I couldn't
I
find it.
can't
I
flip
was.
back and forth, so I'm not going to be able to look at the YouTube chat. But
Yeah,
I'm going to chip in on here for as much as I can until I have to return to my family stuff this weekend.
right.
I didn't want to leave you hanging solo here, Josh.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. And I appreciate you telling me that you can hear me. Because, as you know, that's always a problem with my microphone. I always have to adjust my settings, and I can never figure out exactly what's going on.
That's understandable. Yeah, I'm at a hotel currently, and so I'm just using my phone. I hope it all works out. Let's see.
All right, I just let Ringo know that we are good to go. All right. And you let Ringo know that we are good to go. So we have both let Ringo know.
All right, I think I am set now.
And they can definitely hear us on the stream because I could definitely hear me over the stream.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. That's definitely needed for the whole live commentating.
Well, I wouldn't say we're alive. Sort of alive, I guess. So I finished putting the plates on my nasal. I think it's all set. I just need to put the backstrap in, but that's easy. So I
Yeah,
am.
I'm actually going to be switching my nasal around. Instead of having chainmail around, I'm going to switch to having hidden plates under a cloth and just keep the chainmail in the front for historical-esque somewhat accuracy.
Authenticity nerds.
Yeah, those guys. It's all for those guys.
Yep. I understand authenticity, but safety comes first to me.
Which is exactly why I'm changing it around. Plus, I should lose about like a whole kilogram of weight from my helmet switching this way.
Oh, dude, the nasal weighs just over half of what my great helm weighs.
Wow,
It's like
that's
11 and
to be fair, that
a half, 11
great
and a
helmet
half
is
pounds.
like your great helmet without the padding in it. I think my nasal could slide into it and
Oh,
be
that
an actual like helm.
the great helm isn't that it's big. It's a regular for a regular 24-inch head. But the thing about it is the metal is so thick, and it's got the hidden
Yeah,
plates. It's just a beast.
I'm pretty sure I've hit it a few times and you just did not move.
Dude, do you remember when you remember the video of Kraken teeing off on me?
You didn't feel,
13 unanswered shots. I
wow,
wanted
that's
him
a
to keep
lot.
hitting me in the head. I wanted him to keep hitting me because I didn't. It was nothing. That helm is a monster.
Sorry, checking in with my region here. I have a new chapter that should be going live in Kansas City, Missouri, probably either late tonight or tomorrow. So, pretty exciting news. Just trying to get the word going around.
This is terrific news. This is the kind of thing I really need to hear right now. I need to hear good news.
But yeah, we're going to have a new team in my region. I'm the regional commander for the Great Plains in the Armored Combat League. So, running the 7 states right in the smack dab center of the USA.
And I will say that you have been doing some fantastic work in that area. You
What
have
you say?
really been killing it with recruiting and getting your guys trained up. I mean, it's been really impressive.
Well, thank you. A lot of it has been my local teams putting in a lot of the legwork. I'm pretty sure since I've started the Twin Cities team, they've tripled in size now. Des Moines is like double the size when they first started. Omaha, we're at like 17 or 18 paid members now, where you just are slowly starting to build the kits for them and everything.
You're kicking ass, man. So part of it is, and you do deserve credit for what some of your chapters are doing because you are the one who appointed the chapter heads. You're the guy who put them in their position. So you deserve some credit for that.
That and even like this weekend, a lot of my chapters are in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for a Renaissance Fair demonstration. So they're actually working with a couple of people in that area to see if they can get a chapter started there. So we're trying to build pretty quickly.
That's amazing. Good stuff is going on here too. The Juggernauts have gone back up to around 10 members,
Very
with
nice.
I believe 13 or 14 paid, but 10 who after Mead and Mayhem are going to actually have fought. So we'll
Awesome.
be maybe splitting again soon.
Yeah, that's a pretty close, almost back to back split.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So I hope the next captain for the Juggernauts is appreciative that I'm going to be leaving something for them. Uh,
Oh, it looks like we've got Matthew Kahn as our head ref here tonight.
Man, he really does have a big head, doesn't he? Look at that thing.
Well, that big head does have a lot of reffing experience here at the hall, so it's appreciated when he's able to come out.
You know, I refed with Khan at Blood and Steel last year. He does a very good job. He's very attentive and he listens when his assistant refs speak, and that's a big thing to listen to your assistant refs.
Definitely. Got Jay kind of going around making sure the list is all set. It's going to be two different chapter matches tonight, I believe. So it's going to have a lot of punishment going to each of these rails.
Is it two chapter matches? I thought it was just the Monarchs versus the Knightmares.
No, the Dark Knights are also fighting the Highlanders.
Oh man. Okay. Let's let's get this party started then.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a big night.
So we've
And
got the chapter meet tonight. We've got Mead and Mayhem this coming weekend. Wow, that's two big events right in a row on the East Coast.
yeah, lots of events coming out over the summer here.
Yeah, and you've got your guys going into Sioux Falls, and you said you had 4 chapters out there?
We currently I've got representatives from Twin Cities, Des Moines, and Omaha there. So those three, and they're going to be starting to build the South Dakota Sioux Falls chapter. We've had a couple people show interest there before, and we're thinking we're going to be able to pull some new guys from the fair itself and maybe start a chapter.
Did you know that the leading cause of death in South Dakota is the secret war it's fighting against North Dakota?
Not actually know that. The North Dakotans are generally a pretty quiet group, so they don't let a lot of information out.
Well, they don't want to give away their position to the South Dakotans. So, of course, they're going to be quiet.
I guess that's fair. In a war zone, I guess that would make sense.
The entire thing is a war zone. Just go look anywhere there's a natural gas deposit. Nothing but craters. That's a fracking joke. Get it? Fracking? Ha ha ha
Yes.
ha ha. I'm terrible. Right now, Ringo's so glad he's not listening to this.
Yeah, he hates puns with a passion. It's a wonder that you two can be friends.
I don't believe he actually hates puns. I believe he wants everybody to think he hates puns, so that they tell him more.
Looks like David's explaining to the crowd some safety features. They've got a bit of a fence there, but not much in reality. But explaining to the crowd about safety and how the weapons and the fighting works.
So I'm very glad they have that wire up there at the hall, because the hall isn't a big place, and if they didn't have that, the audience would be in some serious danger.
And it's not just like some simple chicken wire. It seems to have some
Oh,
strength to it, so it
oh,
should be able to catch anything that goes flying uncontrolled
it,
if a
it's
weapon
uh,
breaks
it,
or
it's got
something.
some heft to it, that wire.
But he is showing that there is still a chance.
And we have it on video, so he is warning the people. Now his
Everybody's
liability
involved
is
in
covered.
this spirit. I mean, I'm pretty safe from where I'm at right now. I don't know
I,
about you.
I don't know. Jay hits really hard. That might cause a nuclear eruption or something. Take
That's
out the
fair.
take out half the country.
Hey, I'm on the other side, like on the other half of the country, so I think I'll be okay.
I meant the northern half, man. I'm in the south.
Oh,
And then, so we're talking about events. So not only is there this event, this chapter meet, and Mead and Mayhem, but on the 30th is the Louisville Slugfest.
yes, I am very excited for that. I can't wait to hit you again.
Ah, yes, yes, you wish to hit me. I was actually going to ask how many guys from your chapter are going.
For my chapter, currently registered, we're trying to figure out some armor between those who can and can't go, see what fits and whatnot. But currently, we've got four, I believe, going from Omaha heading down.
Okay, because if you have anybody that wants to merc, including you, I may have a slot. So let me know.
Will do. I'm pretty sure I'm going to merc between my three chapters because I think we're low on all of them to figure that out. And then I'll let you know who's left over from that and see where we can place them to make sure everybody can get to fight. Because that's a big thing in the ACL is that everybody, if you show up and have gear and have membership, you get to fight.
Yep, and that's one of the reasons why I'm actually looking for mercs is because we were going to do one chapter. I figured only eight or nine guys would want to go from the DC Baltimore area, and it turned out we had 11 guys want to go. So instead of
Oh,
say,
so you guys
okay,
split up quite a bit.
yeah, so we decided to do to go as Baltimore and DC, and it turned out that Baltimore actually was sending more people, which shocked the heck out of me. So I've got five guys, and Baltimore took six, and then got picked up two mercs, so they're a full team. And I've got three slots right now. I've sent a couple messages to people, but I haven't gotten any
Question about that,
responses back.
because the original paper with Slugfest said that they were going to be doing duels in 3v3s. Have we up to 5v5s for the event?
I believe so. That's the last thing I heard from
Perfect.
Ricky.
Sounds perfect to me. Bigger fights equals more fun.
I totally agree. I'm just hoping I can pick up three good mercs.
Well, I'll let you know if I have anybody. How's that?
All right, I appreciate it, bro. Try to con Micah into going again.
I mean, that's not as far of a drive for him now.
No, it's only about I think 8 hours for him. The thing is that he's that's on his weekend duty. He's got the 3 day duty, so he's got to
So,
take 3 days of leave, and that stinks.
yeah.
Maybe I
Luckily
could
for me, it's
maybe
just
I
a
could
10-hour drive.
con Captain America into coming to Merc with for me.
Hey, Andre Sanu takes the field again. That'd be great.
Yeah, maybe he can come out. Since Philly isn't putting on a team, I would be more than happy to have Andre fight with me. He
Yeah, no joke.
was actually pretty impressive at the Worlds. I was, you
I would
know,
agree.
there's not been too many people, and I will admit that have been on the does he really belong on the Eagles bandwagon as much as I have been? But he showed some stuff, and I'm gonna say it right now that I was wrong, and he definitely belonged out there.
I'm just
There's
going
some
to say the flag bearing was probably a huge confidence boost for everybody. So I think that has to attribute to a lot of the feats that were done by Team USA.
I would patriotism is a big motivator. Now I want to kind of validate my previous statement. There were other guys that could have made it. So
Oh, yeah.
there were other
Definitely.
guys that could have made it. Jesse Kalehi or Kalili, or I'm sorry, Jesse, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, is a monster, was a destructive force at Havasu.
Oh, yeah, and he was a great buddy to have on the 10-man team.
I bet. He was rocking people in the tens. Yeah, he was just a fantastic fighter. I fought him. Interesting. I've fought Jesse twice, two separate occasions, both at Havasu, right? The first year, 2 years ago at Havasu 2017, I threw him down, and I don't even kind of. The only way I was able to remember it, because it happened so quick, was I saw it on the video. And then last year, in the last Havasu, he did the same thing to me. So he has really leveled up a lot.
Yes, he has.
Let's see who else was really impressive over in Scotland. Ian Kansky.
Ian was just going ham in those fights.
Did you see what he did to that one Scottish guy? He beat him with that big old axe of his like 4 or 5 times. That dude was hurting.
Yeah, he was. You could tell just by the way he was walking afterward. He did not enjoy that at all.
Don't get hit by Ian.
I try to avoid that, yeah.
In fact, just don't be around when he's swinging his axe, because you never know who he's actually going to hit.
Okay, we've got the team starting to walk out now. Yep, Dark Knights led by Lane Atteridge.
And it looks like they got Kat Brooks. Was that Marie?
Yeah, that's Marie. Michael Lewis. Then I don't actually know those last two.
I'm not familiar with either of those last two. Is the one next to Michael, is that Chuck?
I'm a little fuzzy on my phone. I can't really tell. But we've got the Highlanders walking out now, led by Dave the Mangler Olsen.
And I see Tyler Von Oy, Gary,
and his son Gavin.
And it looks like Peter Day is there. Peter Dye.
Oh, wonderful. I haven't seen Peter fight in a while now.
Peter will fight anytime, any place. The Marines have to let him. Okay, and here come the Knightmares. Out now. Brandon Ross, Jay Brooks.
Seem to try to fight.
Al Karen. Is that it looks like
I am not as familiar with these Knights Hall guys as you are, unfortunately.
Yeah, then, I can't tell.
Of course, the Monarchs being led by Evan Ringo now. Got Brian.
And somebody covered up by a flag.
Sloan and Erica.
Is that Greg Fisher? I can't tell. It looks like Andrew Jefferson is out there with the Knightmares.
I believe we're looking for a flag to do the national anthem. It must have been moved during the move. The red, white, and blue against the wall.
So with this being a 2-chapter challenge, who is your favorite to win each fight?
Between Dark Knights and the Highlanders, there's a lot more experience on the Highlander side, but I've definitely seen Lane himself pull out some very hard, challenging wins. Overall, I'd have to say Highlanders for that one. And between the Monarchs and the Knightmares, that's going to be a really tough fight with the energy level that Brian brings, Ringo's field awareness, and his put-down power. But then they have to fight Al, Jay, and Brandon all at the same time. I have to lean toward the Knightmares for them.
Yeah, I'm leaning. I think you're dead on. Now, keep in mind, I've fought Ringo and Brian quite recently. Fought against them, and they are both monsters. But
yes, they
fighting
definitely are.
Brandon, Jay, and Al, and man, I know who that is, and I just can't think of his name. But it's also Andrew Jefferson, and I'm going on to Facebook real quick because I'm going to look him up. I know who it is.
But then again, the Dark Knights did pull Cat for this fight.
Yes,
So
they did.
they have Lane and Cat working together, and I think it will really depend on what, because his drop power with the two-handed axe is just far superior to his dropping power with falchion and buckler. He does more grappling with his falchion and can do more throws, but his overall dropping power just increases exponentially when you put a two-hander in his hands.
So I have not yet been hit by Cat with a two-hander, and I don't want that to happen.
I don't want it to happen. I've just seen it a few times, and it's scary.
What he did to Sean Kraken was ridiculous.
Perfect, clean strike to the back, and he just went into spasms and had to quit for the end because of a single axe strike.
He had to basically. He's basically still out.
Yeah, he's still having issues with his shoulder. I know he said something about getting MRIs and stuff checked on that here pretty soon. Let's see, which teams are up first? Jay is pointing to make sure something's cleared out of the ring or something.
So whenever I want to figure out who somebody is, I just go to Jay's profile and look at our mutual friends.
That generally works, yes.
John
Jay was
Calderon.
pointing to get
That was
the...
John Calderon.
Oh, gotcha. I don't think I've seen him fight before, so I'm interested to see how it changes. I'm sad I haven't seen Greg Fisher. I want to see Greg Fisher fight because he and I have a night fight set up for July 14th at War Camp.
Yes, the same night that I have a night fight with Barley Chumfield.
Oh, that's right. I'm excited to watch that fight.
I am excited to watch
You're both
all
very
these
good
fights.
friends of mine, so I'm excited to see how that goes down.
I am excited excited for all of those fights. However, I am not going to watch any of the fights until after mine is done.
That's understandable.
It's an adrenaline thing. You know me, I'm a high energy fighter. Need to save it.
I know I'm going to be a cornerman for one of the fights, so I know I'll be out there observing everything and getting a feel for the crowd and trying to feed off their energy before I go out. Looks like we got Cat stepping out, so it'll be the Dark Knights versus the Highlanders first.
That is a nice surcoat he has.
I'm really jealous, but he went out with the falchion and buckler. So let's see. Lane has a two-hander. Lane has some very good dropping power.
Lane is very skilled with that two-hander, and that looks like Marie, I believe.
We've got Highlanders stepping out now. We got Mangler and Gary stepping out first.
Does Mangler have a new helmet?
It looks like it, yeah. It was about time.
It's not like his old helmet was beat up. It was a monster. Didn't have a dent on it.
Let's see. It's a lot easier to tell Lane apart now due to the brand new tabards for all of the Knights Hall captains. Thanks to Yana, the Knights Hall workshop. They're beautiful, by the way.
Yes, my first sword's tabard is from the Knights Hall workshop.
I'm jealous. I need to get some stuff from there soon.
And it looks like they're going to have... is that Tyler getting ready to come out?
I believe Tyler's about to step out underneath there. Tyler was in my wing for the 10-man team. He's a strong grappler with some very serious kicks. Both Tyler and Gary were on my wing in the 10-man on the left side.
Yes, I was supposed to be on your wing on the 10-man, and then my roof got...
Well, somebody got hurt, so...
Yeah, I just couldn't go. It was disappointing. This is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to give the advantage to the Highlanders, though. I don't think the Dark Knights have answers for everything that the Highlanders are going to bring.
See, and I was leaning the exact opposite, actually. The Highlanders only have one two-handed weapon, but it's in Mangler's hand, who is a known grappler, whereas the Dark Knights have two-handed axes and are known for their swinging power. And swings are going to drop a lot faster than grapples in most cases.
Well, here's the thing: is there's Tyler out there, and if Cat lets him get free, that's a tough kid. Tyler's a tough kid, and
that is true.
He won't have a problem if he gets in a matchup with, I believe that was Marie, of throwing her down.
I don't think that's Murray.
You don't think that's Marie? Then
Marie doesn't have plate arms or legs. I think that is one of the unknown fighters that we couldn't identify at the early lineup.
Okay, if it's a new fighter.
So the Highlanders, I think, put themselves kind of in a bad position here. They left Lane on the outside to be able to circle, and he was able to throw in a couple of quick shots.
Oh, Cat drops Gary.
Oh no,
Gary's stayed alive.
No, Gary's still up there. A lot of heavy grappling happening in this match. Some quick breakoffs from the Dark Knights, though.
Cat didn't like that. Tyler was beating the back of his leg.
Which was smart because Cat doesn't actually have armor in the back of his legs. He can take a lot of punishment there, but Tyler knew exactly where to aim.
Yep. Cat did not like that at all.
Oh, we've got like an armor failure on a Dark Knight.
Is that Lane?
Nope, Lane is still up.
Okay. It's hard to tell.
So it's unidentified. Cat coming around, doing some punishment, trying to ignore Gary, but he's not someone you can just easily ignore.
Well, Gary needs to do what Tyler was doing.
And aim for the legs, not his head.
Yeah. It's hard to tell what's going on here.
Gary's throwing a couple of punches at Cat, but he's just trying to figure out how best to help his team.
Effective striking would help. Sorry, Gary. I love you, brother. Oh, that was good. He charged in.
Lane got himself out of the corner. Oh, and he actually took both of them. Gary tripped up over the bodies with that push. So it's down to Cat and I believe Mangler left. Cat is pushing Mangler basically over the rail, which is going to make it hard for Mangler to breathe.
Yep. It looks like, Lane got two there. That was a really good move.
Lane got lucky, to be honest. He pushed Tyler out, and Tyler was able to get some kind of a sweep that pulled him with as Gary was charging, and Gary just kind of tripped over the bodies and went down with it.
Yeah.
These two are both very, very strong grapplers.
Mangler just needs to use his hands.
He could engulf Cat's helmet with a single palm.
Mold him like a piece of clay.
I'm surprised I don't see Cat stepping away and trying to get more strikes in. With a smaller falchion, he'd be able to get more quick strikes in to disorient Mangler.
Well, I think they're just trying to throw each other at this point. Now Mangler's got the advantage, bending Cat over. That's the thing, is Mangler doesn't get tired. He goes the same speed the whole time.
Oh, and round one is a draw.
So that was at the end there, Mangler and Cat, both members of the Executioners. And how do you know the Executioners are good, other than the fact that they always win everything?
They're always training and fighting each other.
Well, they're always training and fighting each other. And the guy named the Mangler isn't one of their most threatening guys. That's how you know they're going to be dangerous.
Got a change in lineup on the Dark Knights.
And the Mangler's pretty threatening. Don't get me wrong. He's a threatening dude. But when you put him up with some of the other executioners,
Let's
I
see.
think I'll
We
fight
got
Mangler.
Mangler's still out. I believe that's Peter that he brought in. Let's see who their third is. Lane stayed out over on the Dark Knight side, but I do not know who those two fighters are.
It looks like one of them has a. Is that a Barbute?
Yep, that's one of the Ice Falcon Barbutes.
Okay, I really think those are nice, but I can't pull the trigger on one, man.
I am not a fan of the Barbute personally. Who is this fighter over on the Highlanders side? I don't believe that's Gavin.
David Schill.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think.
Strong push on the left side. Leaving Mangler to try to handle the two newer Dark Knights. While Peter holds Lane. Ooh. Lane's able to block a few of those, luckily.
So the way you get Mangler down with strikes is to knock his armor off.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he doesn't go down to
He
strikes.
doesn't acknowledge pain.
Pain, what's that? I'm a Terminator. A Manglerator.
Let's see here. Looks like one of the Dark Knights is down now. Peter Day is still holding on to Lane, letting Mangler with that two-handed falchion. And we've got a small struggle cuddle over here in the closest corner.
This is going to be brutal. This is only round 2. Ooh, vertical shot with that axe. That's got to be Peter Day. Yep, he's got the onion top.
He's going to town on that shoulder, too.
Ooh.
There he is. 3v1. Stop fight.
That was some really nice axe work by Peter.
Definitely. And Mangler earlier. Lane is just really, really tough.
Lane's a tough dude, man. I like to call Lane.
Lane looks like he's trying to stay out for round 3.
Well, that's because he's the ball of violence, man. He just wants to hit people.
That's accurate.
You know, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Lane, like a tremendous amount, because he is not the biggest guy in the world, but he has more fight in him than most people I've ever met in my life.
Now, I believe we have Marie out on the Dark Knight side. Lane and unknown fighters stayed out. We've got Tyler, Mangler, and Peter on the Highlanders side. So this is going to be mean.
Yeah, this is probably their number one line.
I would have to agree. Just the speed and power that Peter brings, the grappling skills between Tyler and Mangler, and then Mangler's weapon just is devastating.
So I fought with Tyler, like on the same team as him, when I went and fought with the Highlanders against the Sentinels back in November. And I'll tell you what, Tyler can fight, man. I've said it before, and when I've been announcing, that kid can fight. He runs at people and just bowls them over, and then he gets locked into the grapples and just beats the tar out of people. He's a tough kid.
Yeah, I had absolutely no worries in Scotland when he had my back.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't always make the right
decision. Tries to shoot out, but draws Peter out with him. Marie moving around. Ooh, almost had that flanking charge on Mangler, but he caught the rail.
It was a great move, though. That was a terrific move.
Looks like Mangler caught Marie.
Yeah, but it looks like Lane has the advantage there in that grapple.
In the grapple, yeah, but Tyler's right there, ready to quick toss, and it's 3v1 again. Highlanders take round 3.
That was some brutal fighting, man. And that was brutal. Michael Lewich. That was the unknown fighter.
Was that? Gotcha. I'm still getting used to everybody's armor and everything.
Yeah, man, and then the quality of the video isn't like super high quality, so it's kind of hard to tell. The YouTube feed is actually higher quality than our Google Hangout where we're doing the announcing.
Let's see. All right, so now in the chapter match settings, there's a 10-minute break between the Highlanders and the Dark Knights, and I believe that the Knightmares and Monarchs will be stepping out during this time. Just for time's sake, it makes sense to me. But there's a quick repair needing to be done to the list there. It looks like they actually split one of the 4x4 posts. So Jay is attempting to put that back in.
Every time they fight up there, they break the list. Every single time.
There's a lot of weight and just pure power going around inside of that. And it can only stand up to so much.
True.
Yep, it looks like Brandon is stepping out here shortly, getting last minute checks on his armor.
Don't let Brandon hit you either.
I know. My first Nationals event, before Brandon had a few level ups, he's had quite a few level ups since then. He got in a gap between my pedal cop style shoulders and my rear brace, and my entire arm just went dead, and I couldn't use it for like most of that day.
So at New World Cup this past year, he got me in one of my small plates.
Oh!
And after the match, or we walked back out to fight again, and I couldn't put my helmet on because I couldn't lift my arm. I had to get my helmet on, and because I couldn't get my helmet on fast enough, I missed the all. They shut the gate on me. I struggled to get the helmet on, needed help, got it on, went over, couldn't lift my arm, so my shield was just dangling, and then they shut the gate on me. And I was like, come on, man.
It was probably a good thing for your safety.
Nah. I was already broke. What were they going to do, break me more?
Yes.
Damn it.
So, Josh, what are you doing July 21st?
July 21st. I think that's the weekend before This Is Hardcore.
Well, it would be hardcore if you came out to Iowa with a team and fought at my regionals.
Came out to Iowa with a team and fought at your regionals. So that will be the weekend between War Camp and This Is Hardcore.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough sell. Because half my team is going to War Camp too.
I mean, which is a great plan, but you got to fill in all the weekends, man. Go hardcore. Fill every weekend with fighting.
That I would say that's worse than hardcore. That's the next level above hardcore. That's like
you've got 5 days between each weekend to recover. Monday through Friday. Friday is normally a travel day, so it's super relaxed.
Oh man, I would love to go to your regional, Mikey. I just don't think it's in the cards this year. I will pencil it in
for anybody out there listening. Come to Pleasantville, Iowa. You can find information for it on Facebook, on the Des Moines Doombringers Facebook page for sure, because they're actually going to be hosting the event for us. We'll be able to show you what we're doing live and in person. And if you want to try it out, we can get you a membership. I'm pretty sure we'd be able to get you in a kit.
All right, so let's take a look here. That's Brian Durante. Is he out there with a shield that looks like a dude?
Yeah, that's really different Brian Durante's almost always with a two-handed axe. This axe and shield combo is very different from anybody in the Knight's Hall. Strap shields are pretty rare from them.
Yeah, that's true. And that looks like, is that Sloan?
Yep, I believe that's Sloan and Ringo with two-handed axes there.
And Ringo.
We've got probably the A-team starting lineup for the Knightmares. Al
Brandon,
Karen,
Jay, and
Jay
Al.
Brooks, and Brandon. That's going to be mean. All three of those guys are very, very heavy hitters.
And they all three
Which
have
could
axes.
explain the shield.
Josh, why are you
Ringo
covered
stepping
in
back,
shield?
trying to.
I'm about to fight Brandon, Jay, and Al. Let's cover your whole body. in shield. Oh, that was a great move by Brian.
Oh, Ringo.
Oh, Ringo tripped, didn't he?
He got pushed back by Al real hard. His feet just were not able to catch up underneath of him. Ooh, Sloan taking some serious abuse from Brandon, and that is a 3v1. Looks like Sloan is swapping out. Stepping in with another shield. I believe this is Erica? Yep, that's definitely her shield. A very different combination from previous Monarch lineups. I'm just not used to seeing shields from them.
I was very close to going up to Merc for Ringo at this event. I just couldn't get the time off of work to drive up on a Friday. And now I really wish that I had gone, because me, Brian, and Ringo versus Al, Jay, and Brandon, I think would have been a pretty epic 3v3. But I might be overestimating myself, as I normally do.
Who's this new fighter on the Knightmares side here? Looks like Jay swapped out.
That's I believe that is John Calderon.
Perfect.
That looks like his bulbous helm or whatever those are called.
All right, getting ready for round 2 here.
Bonesaw is ready. That's a good 2001 reference for you.
Yeah, I'm too young to remember that, man. Sorry.
The first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire? Oh. There goes Brian pushing into Al.
Ringo trying to back him up real quick.
Stream cut
Erica
out there for a second.
Yeah, getting real fuzzy. It looks like the Monarchs have an advantage here. Yep. Ringo on the outside throwing some shots on Al, who is not enjoying that whatsoever. Trying to catch something to get him to stop, but he's stuck and can't just get free.
Al needs to go down, honestly. He took a couple shots to the bicep. That couldn't have been fun.
Yeah, but it's also Al. He's just not caring, trying to get him to stop. Brian switched over, try to get Brandon down quick, and it is now a 3v1.
3-on-1.
So now it's 1-1.
Now they might try to say Erica was down, but she was clearly up when Brandon hit the ground and then tripped. Yeah,
I believe her gauntlet or something was just caught, and she just didn't let go.
She did a terrific job there. I just want to put that out there. She did a fantastic job. And this is Sloan coming back out again. I'll tell you what, Sloan was at Havasu, right?
Correct.
That was her fighting against the Valkyries with Bonnie when they were able to take a 3 versus 2 and actually turn it on the Valkyries and win.
Oh, yes.
Her and Bonnie Jensen, I think her name is, were able to turn that around. And that was pretty impressive.
Brandon stepped out and Jay stepped back in for him.
With
another very, very promising axe.
With John Calderon also and Al. And there is Al's wife, Nikki, helping out with support. So we'll try to give our support people a shout out when They are seen on screen.
Ringo in for all 3 rounds, as is Al and Brian. The energy from these guys is just insane.
Ooh.
Ringo kind of caught himself there, but it was almost pretty ugly for him again.
So John Calderon is a 4th degree, I believe, black belt in Aikido.
Uh-oh, looks like something's broke. Oh, wow, they really broke the rail there.
Yep.
Had to call stop fight for the crowd safety.
Jay's over there confused as to how it broke that bad.
He's trying to figure it out, but yeah, Ringo just tore right into that.
Jay's still using his old helmet. I thought he had a new helmet that he's been using.
I believe the sides of it were too tall and it was grounding onto his shoulders incorrectly.
But I've seen him use it multiple different times. That's weird. I'll have to ask him about that.
And it's probably just a preference thing. He's used to this one.
Yeah, he's been using it for what, 4 years now? 3 or 4 years now?
Yeah, it's a pretty well-known and well-loved helmet.
I mean, it's kind of a signature helm for him.
Trying to figure out how we're going to fix that real quick, because the list is pretty important for everybody's safety.
Absolutely. Especially the audience.
Yeah, it just had to be on the audience side. Good job, Ringo.
But what I was saying about John Calderon is he's 4th degree black belt in Aikido. Now, I'm not usually a big proponent of Aikido for various reasons, right? But he does use his grappling experience very well in the lists. He's able to move and throw a lot of good leg trips, and which is what he tried to do to Ringo. And if he hadn't been doing it to Ringo, who has a tremendous amount of experience, it may very well have worked.
More than likely, Ringo's just so squirrely. It's hard to just trip him up like that.
Now, I shouldn't actually say anything, because when Ringo and I fight each other, we don't end up fighting each other. We end up fighting other people on the other team. It's very rare where we actually do violence to each other. And I think it's because
we got some quick tape and some rope going on to the field, try to hold the list together.
This is going to end beautifully. But like I was saying, we just don't run into each other on the field. It's like we have different purposes and they don't cross very often. Now, you and me, on the other hand, seem to fight every time we go up against each other.
That's true. You try to throw me, I swirl around, and then I'll just lock up on you, and you try another throw, and we go down together.
Sometimes.
Cuddle with me, buddy.
You are one of my favorite cuddle buddies. Now, another guy who does that to me a lot is Ken Fox. He's real good about, if he loses a fight, taking you down with him.
Got Mama Yana over there helping figure out how to fix the list there.
Duct tape. It moves and it's not supposed to. Duct tape.
They've got duct tape going on the left side of the list there to fix the split 4x4. It's just a very brutal sport, and they're breaking all their toys. At least it's not each other this time.
Yep.
Yet.
And that looks like some new 2x4s out there, too.
I know the top of the rail is actually steel.
Well, yeah, but they for support, they've got new wood out there. Looks like they've replaced a lot of the older stuff. And the new stuff is what's breaking.
It just can't match up, man. It looks like they're going to restart the round rather than start where everybody was. Everybody kind of mixed around, got out of the way of support and whatnot, so they're just going to restart this round.
All right, let's see which part of the list they break this time. And Khan declares a go. Here comes Brian on the right, facing off against John Calderon.
Ringo's pulling back, trying to get them to draw in a little bit. Quick flank to try to hit John.
Oh, that was a nice swing by Ringo. He got him right between the shoulder, or between his weapon and his helmet, right down the shoulder. That's a great place to hit somebody.
Jay looks like he took out Sloan pretty quickly. Brian's stuck against the corner. Ringo's stuck in that corner too, against Al, John, and Jay, just looking for an opportunity.
And he took his opportunity, didn't he?
Jumped right on Ringo there. Other two just holding Brian away.
All messed up there.
John handed a new weapon. Looks like his armor is stuck to Brian in some way. Otherwise, he would have ran to get one.
Wow, Ringo just skipped right out of that throw from Jay. That was beautiful. He was able to rotate his hips around enough to keep on his feet. That was fantastic.
Like I said, man, Ringo's just known to be super squirrely.
Didn't work out.
Unable to keep it that time. That makes it a 3v1.
That's a 3-on-1. I don't think Brian has gone down yet in any of those rounds.
He's just got too much energy to do so.
He's got too much energy. So he stayed at my house, the house that I was staying in at Havasu for a night, and there was an electric organ in the house. So as soon as he saw that thing, he was over there playing the electric organ and creating music with it, and it was actually good. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Looks like that is the end of the round between the Monarchs and the Knightmares, so the Dark Knights and the Highlanders will be sorting back in shortly.
Let's get somebody in there to fight Khan. He needs a good fight.
I believe Khan is rebuilding a kit. Had some issues with his last one or something.
Yeah. Okay, I got an idea. Let's have him and Roger fight for referee supremacy.
Ooh. That'd be fun to watch. Actually, at Slugfest, I'm fighting Roger in a sword and shield duel.
Oh, really? So I thought Roger wasn't going.
Last I heard, he and I have a sword and shield duel, which he'll probably smoke me with all of his SCA experience.
Roger is not bad with a sword and shield. He's I am
very bad with sword and shield.
I understand that he's pretty good. I haven't seen him do it, but I've heard from people whose opinions that I trust that he doesn't fight poorly, that he fights fairly well.
A lane coming back out for the Dark Knights.
That little ball of violence. And that is
Peter back out for the Highlanders.
Man, that rondelle in the back of his armor needs to be adjusted. That thing's sticking out like you wouldn't believe. Cat out there. That looks like Tyler Von Oy. And the Mangler. Mangler needs to go back to his old
helmet. A very strong team from the Highlanders being put out.
Yeah, that's their number one team.
Is that Michael Lewich?
I believe so. Kind of hard to tell because they all wear nasals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. Nasals are some of the best styled helmets for this sport.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get my own surcoat so that people will know who I am because I'm going to be wearing a nasal now.
That's why I got my chest piece the way it is, man. I don't have to wear a tabard or a surcoat. Everybody knows that I am the couch.
Has that stuck? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I called your chest.
Keep jumping in there quick. And doing a quick cross to get away from that, though.
Tyler
Cat
almost
flanking around. It's a scary idea.
Yeah,
Cat
don't
keeping
fight,
Tyler busy. Doesn't seem very. Cat's not super engaged on that grapple. He's making sure he keeps his distance. He's just making Tyler so he's busy.
Yeah, he's really not super engaged in that. He's just making. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's just keeping Tyler. Oh, now he's engaged.
He's going for that throw now.
He needed to get his hips in more.
He's using Tyler to try to block Peter's shots, but unfortunately, Peter just stepped around and is now hitting him.
Peter is a good fighter, man. The Highlanders have a lot of good fighters now.
Tyler
Cat
and
go
Cat
down
both
together.
down. Michael trying to keep Peter busy while Lane attempts to get out of that grapple or pull a throw of some kind.
You know, I'm really
Right
starting to
now,
like
Highlanders.
that onion top. That onion top is nice. Like, I'm just the way it
Highlanders
looks.
definitely. Whoa.
Looks like Michael got Peter's weapon. Up, Lane is running away to flank Peter. It was a good cross check. Now Peter breaks out and Michael follows him around and goes down, and Peter catches himself on the rail and stays up. Highlanders win. That was a really good move by Peter to take out Michael and then to stay up. It was very impressive grappling and balance. So it looks like we have a few people watching at home now. Hi, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat, and Michael and I will do our best to answer it for you. And we've got Jesse watching at home on the 60-inch TV. Wish I had a 60-inch TV. That would be nice. And it looks like the Highlanders have their whole team out, and the Dark Knights have their team out as well. Mangler, Tyler, and I can't tell who's in the corner over there. Probably Peter again. And Lane is out. Yep, that's Peter. I'm not sure who that is in the middle.
Lane trying that cross again. Quick takedown on Michael there. Looks like he's in some kind of pain, which is understandable with a kick from Tyler. Those hit hard.
Yeah, he's a tough kid, man. And that was over quickly.
Lane seeing if Cat's good to go in.
Cat's helmet was off.
Looks like Marie is stepping in.
Yep, she sure is.
It's like Michael's being a little slow on getting up. Hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah, he went down pretty hard. So I'm not
Pretty
really
quick.
sure what happened.
Lane is looking tired tonight. It's kind of unusual for him.
Well, he's fought every round, and these have been some brutal rounds.
Looks like some kind of leg injury on Michael. Hopefully he can recover quick and get back out here tonight, if not in the near future.
So I've lost track of the scores, but I believe the Highlanders are winning.
I believe so as well, especially after winning the first 2 rounds of this set.
Yeah, I think they took 2 rounds last set, and so far 2 rounds this set. So they're up, I think, 4-0, because last set had 1 draw. In fact, let me. I'm going to start writing this down now.
Good plan. I would, but I did not exactly plan to be doing this tonight, so I don't have my usual materials.
3, 4. Boston. Man. And Nash. I think Nashua took 2 out of the 3, and Manchester got 1, right?
I believe it was a draw on that one as well.
So 1-1 in a draw. That's
I
possible.
believe so.
I think you're right. All right. The Highlanders are coming out strong again. They're really being aggressive tonight.
Lane is going for that cross almost every time. Peter has definitely locked it down and notices it. He leaves that gap and then just follows up right on his back.
Well, 2 Dark Knights are down. 3 Highlanders are up.
And that's again a 3v1.
Yes,
All
sir.
3 rounds in that set to the Highlanders.
That's 5-0. New Haven over Boston.
All right, we'll have a quick break, and the Knightmares and the Monarchs will be stepping back out.
These double chapter matches really make announcing easier. No big long breaks to fill.
Correct, because for those who don't know, in between each set should be a 10-minute break for teams. So being able to go from each match to the next fills in a lot of the downtime that we would generally have open for any other type of performance for any chapter match that could be happening.
Absolutely. Another good thing to put between sets is if it's available to have singles matches between sets. If you have fighters who are there but aren't fighting in the melees. And I've seen that happen a number of times in New York and stuff.
I could see that. I would almost try to push for singles to be more of in the chapter match because they can as a set. I personally love that so that we can see more like top notch competitive wise being pushed out on the regular.
But so I don't really like having the singles matches as part of chapter matches. And I know I've done it and advocated for it in the past, but my experience is if you have one knockout singles fighter, it can unbalance the chapter match. So I like to keep the chapter matches now anyway, since I've seen what happens when you have the singles matches as part of the chapter match. I see
your point, but I think it's an important aspect from a view to be able to send what type of out. Because locally, if I'm losing Omaha, losing to Des Moines in melees, because they have a lot bigger guys than Omaha does, if I want to go out and do a longsword duel, it's still a close match between a couple of them, but I think I could take that, and I think I could get those points back. So I guess it depends on the team.
You know, so I've benefited from the singles because I have. At the time, we had Paul Friedel, and I know you know Paul, and Paul is a very good singles arming sword and sword and shield and sword and buckler and longsword fighter. He's very good at it, and I have used him to score points in singles before, happily, right? And having done that, you know, I think a chapter match should be melees and duels should be duels. That's just my opinion, and opinions vary. And I don't really have a problem with it. I'm probably not going to advocate for its use in the future. So I'm not dumping on it or anything. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just probably not going to advocate for it. Not going to ask teams to, you know, hey, do you want to do singles as part of the chapter match moving forward?
And on the opposite side, we do limit the amount of duels we can use per chapter match. So we'll never come down to just duels. I believe 3 sets per chapter match is all you can use.
Oh, okay. 3.
It's like Khan was doing a quick explanation. We've got chairs coming out, so I'm pretty sure this will be a duel. Yep, it
All
looks
right.
like it'll be Longsword and Ringo representing the Monarchs.
And who's that cornering him? I can't tell.
I did not see clearly. Who do we have here on the left for the
Andrew
Knightmares?
Jefferson.
Andrew Jefferson. Oh, I believe they did a Longsword Knight fight once. I
Yes,
believe I commentated on that as well.
I believe so. And I think Ringo hit him in that gap between his Baozu band and his shoulder and hurt him.
It's interesting seeing the katana being used in a longsword duel. I will admit that.
Andrew loves to fight with that longsword, with that katana.
If I remember correctly, in the previous fight between these two, Ringo's main advantage was he was just keeping the aggressive pace up a lot higher than Andrew.
I believe Andrew only fights duels.
Interesting. It makes sense. I mean, some people just focus on the dueling aspect.
And that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. It's, whatever form of fighting that you prefer, do it. It's fighting. Fighting is fighting.
I mean, right now he's definitely more hardcore than us. I'm laying in a bed. He's fighting Ringo in longsword. Like, I envy him and I don't at the same time.
So I'm not a longsword fighter, so I don't really. I've fought two longsword matches and lost them both badly.
I'll longsword fight you, buddy. Third time's a charm, right?
Longsword fight against me is more of a longsword massacre against me. Although I have been practicing, I got a couple trainer long swords that I've been practicing in my basement with. My wife is quite
Very
upset
nice.
with me because I keep hitting the ceiling. I only have 8-foot ceilings in my basement.
Sukan has explained to the crowd the rules for duels, how 1 minute long rounds, most amount of points, they have certain counters on each side. You can see the support staff. The strikes have to have significant force behind them. They have to be 2 inches above the wrist, and both hands will have to be on the weapon for the point to count.
Andrew's trying to use speed to really get in on Ringo. And it's probably a good idea because Ringo has a lot more reach with his longsword than Andrew does.
Correct. And he's jumping right in close to where his katana will have an advantage. But Ringo's squirrely enough, he's using those outside angles to get inside on those shots.
I'm wondering if Andrew has some kendo or iaido experience because he seems to be standing and swinging like somebody who's trained in katana as opposed to somebody who's trained in longsword.
It's very possible. I mean, I know several people who have experience in those style of martial arts and want to go with a more Eastern kit, such as Andrew's.
Well, if you look at his stance, it's he's standing more bladed. His feet, one in front of the other, whereas Ringo was, shoulders over thighs over feet. The standing on train tracks kind of thing. And Andrew's stance was just more of a Japanese sword stance than a European sword stance, at least in my limited experience of it.
No, and you're definitely right. Ringo also loves to hop side to side constantly. So his more shoulder width stance allows him to go any direction with that. Whereas with the katana, they like to go basically straight forward at each other.
Yeah, it's
And we can see that with how quickly he's getting inside of Ringo's range.
but we're also seeing Ringo turn him a lot. So it is what it is. Did they announce the winner
I believe Khan is talking to the counters currently.
Nice dodge by Ringo. Oh.
I'm because of the distance of the camera, but it looks like Ringo is hand blocking a lot of those inside shots.
Yeah, he's only taken a couple shots and he's delivered at least 6 or 7. The katana's light. You can probably hand block against it. Not feel too much pain there.
Especially with the way the shape of the blade is, it's going to drag away instead of chopping into it, similar to a longsword would.
Yeah, yeah. Ringo's taking this round. This is pretty decisive. I'd say he's hitting them 3 times for every one he's taking.
Which is a really good ratio for a duel.
Oh yeah. You fight half the round and then you take the rest of the round off and you still win.
Unfortunately, due to time constraints with family things this weekend, I believe I will be having to go here very shortly.
Alrighty, man. Well, thanks for coming in and doing part of this with me. It was awesome having you.
Of course, while I'm out, I'll try to be checking in on the results, but I don't think I'll be able to jump back into the call. But I'll jump on the YouTube chat and help out whenever I can.
Absolutely, man. You know you're always welcome.
All right. Well, thank you everybody who is tuning in and watching tonight. We really appreciate the support both at the Knights Hall and for the Armored Combat League overall. I hope the night is very enjoyable for everyone and hope it turns out well for all teams involved.
Awesome. You have a great night, Mikey.
You too. Thanks, everybody.
It looks like Malcolm is watching. What's going on, Malcolm? I believe Ringo took all 3 of those rounds. So I think Manchester goes up 4-1 over Nashua. Looks like we got Khan out there working the crowd a little bit. Little known fact, I do bad lip reading, so let's do some bad lip reading with Khan. I have an enormous head. It's gigantic. It's all the way over there. And that was bad lip reading with Matthew Kahn. And there's a big blank hall right now. Looks like we got Peter Dye coming out with his gorgeous onion top helm. And they are rocking out to something. I'm assuming it's Raining Men is playing right now. Got Tyler Von Oy, and it looks like this is Mangler coming out. If you're ever wondering why they call him the Mangler, it's because he mangles. All right, it looks like Lane Atteridge is coming out. I missed who was coming out there before. That's in the corner right now. So Jesse asked if there's a way to get the Knights Hall sound. We could have Knights Hall sound. However, it would drown out the announcing. We've tried it before and nobody could hear us announce. Which might be a benefit if you are of the mind that we are terrible announcers, that we are terrible announcers. More bad lip reading with Matthew Kahn. Hey guys, I got this yellow stick. Hey, do you like my yellow stick? It's very yellow. They call it the mellow yellow stick. Hey, did you see my stick? So there's a lot going on in the ACL coming up here soon. We were talking about it a little bit before. Oh, looks like we're getting ready to start again. Not sure who that is with the Dark Knights. We got Lane, unknown fighter, and I can't tell who that is in the corner against Tyler, Mangler, and Peter. Sloan. That was Sloan in the corner. And Khan is resetting them. And they're going again. And that is one fighter down. Two fighters down. And that's 3-on-1. New Haven picks up another one. They are up 6-0 so far. Some replacements for Boston, but Lane is staying in. I will hit you with my yellow stick if you do anything wrong. I'm going to point at this person over here and then wave it around. And the fight is on. Or not. Okay, there we go. So it looks like Boston got a little bit stacked up there in the corner. One Boston fighter down. Mangler tosses him. 2-on-1 in the corner. That looks like a 3-on-1, and that fight is over. New Haven up 7-0. Mangler looks like he's trying to get his helmet off. Looks like everybody's taking their helmets off. This might be a concession. It looks like this fight is over. New Haven was up 7-0. And I believe the fight is yep, this is over. New Haven wins. And we miss you too, Mikey. More bad lip reading with Matthew Kahn. Hey, you guys want to see my dance? Let me show you my dance. It goes like this. I step into the left. I'm looking around. I'm stepping to the right. I'm waddling over to Liz. Hey, Con, you look really handsome out there. Thank you, Liz. How's Brandon doing? He's kicking ass. Big yawn. Yeti Con is sleepy. Watch me twirl my yellow stick of doom. Man, Con looks more uncomfortable out there during this long break than I feel on this stream. So like we were saying before, the ACL has some real good events coming up. We've got Mead and Mayhem, which is my event I'm running in DC. We've got probably around 30 fighters coming to fight in the first inter-regional, or intra-regional, which is just the Mid-Atlantic region, 10v10s. Now, we are allowing mercs to come in, absolutely. And we've got about 70 people who have confirmed to be going as spectators. We've got a whole list, tents, for armoring, the whole deal. 2 weeks after that is the Louisville Slugfest, which is a huge event out in Louisville. Then in July, we've got the War Camp in Nashua, and this is hardcore. August is going to have a number of chapter matches up at the hall, and a chapter match in New York City between the Huns and the Sentinels. The Baltimore Huns versus the New York Sentinels. That's also going to be in August, a Mid-Atlantic Duels Day. And that's going to be held at the Lindenwold Moose Lodge in Lindenwold, New Jersey, which is Philadelphia Rhino territory. In September, in the early part of September, is going to be the conference 10v10 Blood and Steel, where the Executioners and the First Swords are going to do battle yet again. From there, we have the Rhinos versus Juggernauts end of season extravaganza, which will be the Juggernauts fighting against the Rhinos in Philadelphia. There is a possible chapter match between the Washington Juggernauts and the Durham Dire Drakes, in what would be the Durham Dire Drakes debut match. Then towards the end of October, of course, we have the national tournament, the #1 tournament in the United States, New World Cup. It's looking like there's going to be multiple contender teams, not just the Executioners going out to dominate this time, hopefully. The First Swords are looking very strong. The Grizzlies are looking strong. The Desert Demons are always a contender. And the Wolfpack, the Northeast Wolfpack, is looking good too. So there could be a number of teams placing. It's not just going to be First Swords, Desert Demons, Executioners, like it has been the last few years. Anyway, it looks like the fight's getting ready to go. We got Brian Durante out there doing the robot. It looks like not sure who that is out there with Ringo and Brian, but we've got Al, Jay, and Brandon out. So this should be a good fight. Ringo is in the corner stuck with Jay. It looks like Brian is waiting for something to go down, and something does go down. Brian takes out Brandon Ross and comes over and throws in a shot. It looks like he's hitting Jay while Jay's wrestling with Ringo. Brian Durante creates mismatches all day long. This is a really good fight. It looks like Jay's going to get Ringo down again, and now Brian is like up against Al and Jay by himself. Oh, and Jay and Al take out Brian. I believe that's the first time Brian has hit the deck today. So the Nashua Knightmares pick up one, so it looks like that's going to be 4-2 in favor of the Manchester Monarchs. Ringo and Brian out there again. Not sure who that is out there with them, but it's going to be Jay, Brandon, and Al again. And Khan says go, and here comes Brian with a big axe. Con says, look, I can fly. Brian and Al just kind of staring across the way. Al pushing. Brian crossing. Pushing Jay back into the rail. Ringo goes in. Stream cuts out for a second. Brian goes for a throw on Brandon, but doesn't get it. Ringo goes for a throw on Brandon and absolutely gets it. Now, it's Ringo and Brian versus Jay. And Brian with a beautiful takedown. Manchester 5, Nashua 2. And Khan is still trying to fly. Ringo taking a knee. Looks like he's a little tired. I believe that is Sloan in again. I'm having a hard time even keeping the team straight tonight. Don't know these guys' helmets at all. Everybody catching their breath. This kind of thing is very exhausting. If you're watching and you haven't done it, it is the most exhausting fighting probably there is. I've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Muay Thai, MMA. You know, there's nothing more exhausting than fighting a dude while you're wearing 80 pounds of gear. It is just brutal. But fun. Super duper fun. I highly recommend everybody get involved. Khan's still trying to fly. Brandon says, no, you're not going to get the drop on me this time, Brian. Brian takes a shot at Jay and almost gets him, and takes a shot at Al and nearly gets him. And Ringo's teeing off on Brandon. Al's down in the corner. That's a 3-on-1. Manchester picks up another one. Good night. I am being proved wrong. Brian Durante and Evan Ringo and the Manchester Monarchs are proving me wrong. I picked the Knightmares to win this one, and those guys are just, they're all over the place. And it looks like we're going to have a break here, ladies and gentlemen. So I am going to take a break as well. And here comes Matthew Kahn with some bad lip reading. Hey guys, watch me twirl. I'm going to show you how I can really twirl. Yeah. Hit my music. Observe my river dance. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Do you have a problem with me? I'm not wearing a watch, but I can tell what time it is by the back of my hand. My head is so large that if I had a bobblehead doll, it would just lay on its side. I have a headache this big. And that was bad lip reading with Matthew Kahn. And we are still between rounds, folks, just so everybody knows. Malcolm asks, "I'm just filling in some dead air." Yeah, pretty much. It's just me now, and I don't have much to say. My daughter's going to bed. The Manchester Monarchs look like they're a dominant team. Mead and Mayhem coming up. Please come. Louisville Slugfest coming up. I need mercs. Contact me. That's about it. Air will remain dead for a few minutes. Well, to answer Keegan's question, I haven't really been running Mid-Atlantic. If you're talking about my business, Mid-Atlantic Medieval, we've been on hiatus for a while because the location where we had practices is moving and they're under construction and they have not finished yet. So we are on hiatus until they are finished. They were supposed to be finished by June 1st, and they have missed that mark by quite a bit, and they're probably going to continue missing that mark. So I am currently in negotiations, with another group for getting in with them and using their mat space. So we're looking at August right now. Now, if you're talking about the Mid-Atlantic region, I do not run the Mid-Atlantic region. That is Andrew Dion. So if you want to know about the intricacies of running that region, shoot him a message on the Books of Faces, and I'm sure he will have an answer for you. Now, what's going on in the ring here is looks like we have Ringo, Brian, and a Barbute guy, I'm not sure who that is, out to fight against Brandon, John Calderone, and Al. I believe Manchester has 6 points now to Nashua's 2. So if they're fighting to 7, this is match point. Otherwise, there's quite a bit of fighting left. There's some posturing going on here. John Calderone is trying to get some attention on him. It's not working. Brian takes off. Calderone attacks the Barbute having gentleman or lady. Oh, a big takedown from John Calderone on Brian. And Ringo and Brandon are at it. And, oh, Ringo throws Brandon down hard with authority. So that will be 7 points for the Manchester Monarchs. Now Jay is in with John Calderone and Al against Ringo, Brian, and an axe-wielding person. Nikki is fixing Jay's Aventail there. This is my hand. There are many like it. Fight! And some more posturing. The Nashua Knightmares seem to be the more aggressive team as far as moving out. And then quickly, the Monarchs engage. And it looks like Jay and Brian are engaged there. Oh, but Brian pulls off and goes and takes out John Calderon in a split second. Now Jay and Ringo are fighting, and Brian and Al are fighting. Ringo's got this axe over Jay's head. Oh, but Jay with a nice throw there, and it looks like he's... Oh, and they both go down. Jay is so strong. Now Al and Brian are up and fighting. It looks like they're the last two up. Al nearly gets the throw there. And now Brian gets him down. Brian is the man today. He has been fighting lights out. Another point for the Manchester Monarchs. Looks like Brandon is coming back in, this time for Al. Thank you, Keegan. I appreciate your kind words. Keegan said, was asked or said that he said that it sucks about my business being on a hiatus. It is it's not so bad for me, really. I'm not doing it to make a lot of money, but it's kind of terrible for the guys I'm trying to train, because now they they're back to training on their own, which is never a good solution. You want to have a group that you can train with. If you fight together, if you train together, you'll fight better together. And it looks like it's going to be Ringo, Brian, and Erica versus Brandon, Jay, and John Calderon. And here we go. Ringo kicks Calderon. Oh. Calderon is down. Brian takes him out. And Jay and Ringo go down together again. And it's Brandon and Brian. And Brandon is down. Brian has been just a murderer today. Just absolutely dominant. back in February, I fought against Brian, and now I don't feel quite so bad for him getting a little bit of the better of me. Because he is absolutely dominating some of the best fighters on the country right now. It looks like the helmets are all coming off. So it looks like we have a decision here. And the decision should definitely go to the Manchester Monarchs here, because they were very impressive in their victory. Very, very impressive in their victory. And the Monarchs take the win, as we sort of knew they would. So we have the New Haven Highlanders and the Manchester Monarchs taking the wins tonight. We had some impressive performances by a number of different fighters. Jay, as usual, was pretty impressive. He had some very nice throws and some big hits. But the star of the evening, I'm going to have to give that one to Brian Durante. He was absolutely dominating, especially in those last 6 or 7 rounds of his fight, where he was really just taking people out just over and over again. Nobody could stand against him. Malcolm says we need to talk grappling next week. Yeah, we absolutely do. I believe, Malcolm, you're going to be down for Mead and Mayhem. We can absolutely have a conversation after that event, or even before it. There's going to be a little bit of time if you get there early. Support personnel can come on site at noonish to help get everything set up. It shouldn't really take that long. And fighters, please be there at 3, no later than 3. We'll start at 5, and it takes an hour or so to get everything put on, get all your gear good. But that is next week. Let's talk about tonight. Tonight we saw New Haven take out Boston. It was a very impressive performance by the Highlanders, probably their most impressive performance since November when they took out the Sentinels in New York. And Manchester takes out Nashua in what I'm going to say was the most impressive performance in a chapter match that I have seen. They took it to a line of 3 executioners and won over and over, which is just amazing. So congratulations to the teams that won, and to the teams that did not win. You guys fought your hearts out, and you have nothing to be ashamed of. And it looks like that's it. Liz is out there picking up everything. And remember, we love Liz. Liz is awesome. So this has been a presentation of the Knightmares versus Monarchs and Dark Knights versus Highlanders at the Knights Hall, an Armored Combat League chapter match. Well, Liz looks like she might be writing something on the wall over there, so we might not be done. I'm not sure. No, I think we are done, ladies and gentlemen. So this has been Josh Kearney with Michael Johnson. You all have a good night.